much as I like Mr. Henry, if I want to go to H&W Pharmacy and set up an office and see, okay, you qualify, I'd be violating the law, and I can't do that. And physicians who recommend cannot have ownership or investment in or interest in a pharmacy. So I couldn't put a few bucks into Mr. Henry's pharmacy and say, let me get a return on my investment. Can't do that, especially if I'm a recommender. Okay, so this does not apply for MD prescriptions of cannabinoid-derived pharmaceuticals that is FDA approved. We all know about Marinol. It's been around a long time. It's synthetic THC. This has nothing to do with Marinol, and you don't have to worry about it. You can continue to write Marinol just like you've always done. And we established in the law the provisions in the event medical marijuana becomes FDA approved. The problem is medical marijuana means so many different things to so many different people, from raw product, to smoking the leaf and the bud, to processed candies and things like that, that there's going to be a long time before we settle on what the real definition of medical marijuana is. And I think that confusion is there by the lobbyists and the people that want to do this so that they can move rapidly into unregulated recreational marijuana. Okay, so who's eligible? You have to have an unrestricted license and a CDS1 permit from the Board of Pharmacy. So what happens is you get your THC certificate, you have to take a short quiz and a test, $75, read the rules, understand the test is on the rules so that you don't violate any of these rules, at least you know about them. And then you can go ahead and apply for your CDS1 permit from the Board of Pharmacy. You have to practice and see the patients in the Louisiana facility. You have to complete an online educational activity. Who's ineligible? If you've been convicted of a crime relating to controlled and dangerous substance issues, including diversion program, you're not going to be eligible. If within 10 years of the application you've had issues with mood-altering substances in your own life, you won't be eligible. If you're under pending formal investigation by the board, you won't be eligible. If you've had violations of the Medical Practice Act, you won't be eligible. This was an attempt to make sure that people who have had problems are not making problems for other people. So what's available? The latest proposed products, are this: a THC-Rich Sublingual Tincture. It's 300 milligrams of THC, 30 milliliters, and it's 10 milligrams of THC per milliliter. You have the balanced 1-to-1 sublingual. It's 150 of CBD and 150 of THC, or it's 5 and 5 per milliliter. Then you have the CBD-Rich Sublingual Tincture, 1,200 milligrams of CBD, 60 milligrams of THC, and 30 milliliters, or it's 40 milligrams of CBD and 2 milligrams of THC per milliliter. That's what's currently available. We really don't have a definition yet for the metered dose inhaler or the sublingual film tabs. I anticipate that they'll be doing that. We don't know the concentrations or anything else, how they are the vehicles, whether it's going to be how the metered dose inhaler is going to be. We just don't know. We have to wait and see because GB Science is now well counted as doing that. Okay, so it's a $75 fee. You renew it annually for $50. It's available at this website. The rules and legal information course, and we have to have a current criminal background check. So people like Wiley Silver and myself, who were old enough to be around a long time, we never had to take a criminal background check to get our license. It wasn't until the 80s when people started having to get a criminal background check. So if you've never had one, if you haven't had one in the last year, you have to get a criminal background check. What that means, you have to have a CBC we submitted to the FBI. And understand, what most people don't in the new licensing arena is, oh, they told me that was expunged. Well, the FBI doesn't forget anything or expunge anything. So if you're ever arrested, processed, or anything else, make sure you tell us about it because we're going to find out about it. You don't want to look like you lied in your application.
How many licenses have you handed out?
Right now, we have about 130 THC certificates currently.
Where did auctioneer prohibited their employees to get a license?
Yes, I am.
And why the corporate entity can prohibit the doctors from doing what they're supposed to do?
Okay, because it really has to do with payment money and commingling of funds in the federal law about banking. They've not changed the federal law with regard to banking the money. So if you talk to the people in Colorado, if you have a medical marijuana dispensary in Colorado, you can't put it in a federally chartered bank. A lot of them build caves in their own vaults. Some of them take the money to out of the country banks. But right now, if you're a federally chartered bank, you can't hold, because what can happen is the government come and seize that money. And Knoxville doesn't want anybody going and looking at their money and taking money out of their pocket, I can guarantee you that. That's the main reason I think that they chose not to do it. And number two, the evidence-based medicine, which Oxford and most of us like to practice, really does not support this yet.
I'll tell why I'm asking. I have a mother with stage 4 pancreatic cancer who is not eating in intractable pain. And I talked to an oncologist, and he said, who's Oxford, say he cannot prescribe it because Oxford don't let him.
Right.
So, and her insurance is buying to the auction. So I have no way to get what she's going to.
Well, first of all, the insurance is not going to pay for your visit
I know.
or this medicine anyway, so it's cash anyway.
That's fine. I mean,
Okay.
the pharmacy will pay cash. I talked to the pharmacy,
Yeah.
and they told me they have a list of oncologists that will prescribe it, and they're gonna go there, for example.
But the other thing is, did they fail at Marinol?
I tried to do Nabinol, but it's not good, makes it too confusing. So.
Well, understand, based
Well,
upon what you
try it.
see the dosage, I like I said, I think everybody should try it. I think it should, look, the people I feel the sorriest for are the chronic cancer patients, and I hope it makes them feel better, and the parents of autistic children. Let me tell you, those two groups of people need this, something that works for them better than what we have available with the FDA armamentarium. Is this going to be the solution? I don't know, because what happens now is the parents of these children, by and large, can't afford the medication because they have to pay cash out of their pocket. And I'm not sure, Mr. Henry, what is it about? It's over $100 a bottle right now.
$8 a cheap pharmacy.
It varies. It varies, depends on, there's the THC-Rich, there's the CBD-Rich, and there's a balance from it. So it goes from 89 to 125 to $180. So, but as more, when Southern University comes on and they get more and more,
Competition.
yeah, then the price will be going down. So
We hope so.
yeah, we're hearing that Southern's gonna be coming available with their product, within the next 60 days. So the price is gonna start substantially going down pretty soon.
Well, we would sure hope so. We hope people can get it if they need it. So, they must include the pharmacy name, the therapeutic request, and with the form I'll show you, it's in the rules, it's on the website, and it has to have an amount by law not greater than that necessary to constitute an adequate supply to ensure uninterrupted availability for 1 month. That's what the law says, and we follow the law. The approved form is sent to the pharmacist in compliance with the Board of Pharmacy right now, fax, and when he prescribes the bill, he prescribes. The patient shall select from the list of 10 approved pharmacies. Right now, as I told you, there's only 9. So the patient tells you where you want to send it, you send it, and they go get it and pay for it. This is the form that is the current recommendation form. Some of the pharmacists have plagiarized it, and we're glad that they did. We don't have to print as many of them. But anybody can get this. You can print it right off our website because it's a printable, searchable PDF on our website. So to kind of clarify for a lot of these things, in February 2019, we put together a guidance document that has 4 pages and it covers all of these points. The introduction, the Louisiana history, the preamble, warning and recommendation, prescription, consultation is needed, the list of currently designated medical conditions, points to consider in the use, and a summary of our rules. And that's available on our website. If you go to the search bar at the top right, you just say marijuana guidance, you'll be brought to that document. You can print it and keep it. In 2019, we passed Act 207, which is the marijuana reporting statute. It's starting with an adverse events reporting, and I will tell you that we have the final draft of all of the data points we want to collect, and the website will be up shortly. We have outcome reportings as good and not so good. We have an advisory committee to do that. The Board of Medical Examiners collects the data and stores the data. All of the information with regard to patient dosage and everything else is exempt from public records, so nobody can find out who's taking medical marijuana by searching that data. It can only be released for bona fide research that appeals to the board for that right to do so. 284, as we talked about, remove the domiciliary requirement, added the metered dose inhaler. Any physician licensed in any state of the United States who provides